Good morning. If I could ask you to take your seats, ladies and gentlemen, we will get started. My name is Richard Bush. I'm the director of the Center for East Asia Policy Studies here at Brookings and the proud holder of the Gujanfu Cecilia Yengu Chair in Taiwan Studies here at Brookings. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to our event today, Cross-Strait Relations under the Tsai Ing-wen administration. I think that we have an excellent lineup of experts to speak about these issues, and there are many sub-issues involved, and so I think we will all have a lot to learn. My main function as the convener is to thank a lot of other people for making this event possible. First of all, I want to thank the Institute for International Relations of National Chengchi University for co-sponsoring this event. And in particular, I would like to thank my good friend Arthur Ding for all the hard work that he has done in arranging things on the Taipei end of this. On the Washington end of this, this is yet another in a series of close collaborations between the Brookings Institution and the Center for Strategic and International Studies. And I would like to thank Chris Johnson and Scott Kennedy for their leadership in bringing this about. There are a lot of staff people here at Brookings, at CSIS, and at IIR who've done the real work, and those of us who stand at the podium would not be at the podium without their hard work. Finally, I would like to express my appreciation to Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council for their facilitation and encouragement. That means a lot to us. Actually, that's not the final thanks. The final thanks is to Ambassador Stanley Gao, who is the Republic of China's representative here in Washington, D.C., and he's kindly agreed to take time out of his very busy schedule to make some welcoming remarks. So without further ado, Ambassador Gao.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richard Bush. And thank you all very much for having me this morning. And on behalf of TechRo, I'd like to, of course, thank and congratulate, the Brookings, CSIS, of course, Minister Lin, and also Dean of IIR, to put together such a wonderful and equally meaningful, conference today. And of course, National Chengchi University, of course, plays a big part in this exercise, and I am so very proud and extremely, pleased. Also, Zhengda is my alma mater, and of course, this is very important and very interesting topic. And the President Tsai Ing-wen, of course, in her May 20th inaugural speech, and then followed by several media interviews and some public announcements, public statements. She has repeatedly talking about one of the key policy agenda would be to maintain, status quo. Presumably dynamic status quo, so as to pursue a consistent, predictable, and sustainable cross-strait relations without compromising, Taiwan's sovereignty and the political democracy and economic prosperity. This is the ultimate values and interest of Taiwan, of course, constitutionally called the Republic of China, and what the country stands for. And nobody, of course, including Tsai Ing-wen herself, would believe this is an easy job, ahead. But during her career as a teaching professor at Zhengda, and a chief trade negotiator, then one of the early mainland China policy makers, then party chairwoman, now the first female head of state. She and her team, including Minister Lin, certainly have work cut out for her. But I think one of the fair observations, I think recently will be that, of course, she should not take anything for granted. She has to stay focused. But on the other hand, she should not be overtly optimistic nor pessimistic. Right now, stay calm, steadfast, and realistic and forward-looking. So I think that's a very fair observation. I understand you are putting together some of the best and the brightest, most articulate thinkers and authors in this room and throughout the day. So I believe it will be most inspiring and stimulating intellectual exercise. So I wish you good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, and thank you, Richard, for hosting us here today. My name is Chris Johnson. I'm the Freeman Chair in China Studies here at CSIS, and I just want to also extend my warm welcome to everyone for making the time to come and see us today. I have the great pleasure to be able to introduce Deputy Minister Lin to come and speak with us. We're very honored that you have taken the time today to come and share your thoughts with us on this very important subject. Just a few brief biographic notes. Lin Zhengyi is currently, of course, the Deputy Minister of the Mainland Affairs Council in the Executive Yuan. Prior to his appointment, he served as a research fellow at the Institute for European and American Studies at Academia Sinica, as well as the Institute Director from 1998 to 2003. From 2004 to 2005, he was the director of the Institute of International Relations at Chengchi University, and he also served as senior advisor for the National Security Council in 2003 and 2004. Dr. Lin holds a PhD and MA from the University of Virginia, as well as a BA and MA from National Chengchi University. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Vice Minister Lin.
Director Dr. Bush and Senior Advisor Chris Johnson, Director Arthur Dean. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am deeply honored to be invited to attend the International Symposium jointly hosted today by the Brookings Institution, the CSIS, and National Chengchi University in Taiwan. The symposium takes on particular meaning and timing in the unique context of internal and external development in cross-strait relations. Today, I would like to talk on the current development in cross-strait relations and offer 5 observations from Taipei perspective. Observation number 1, starting with respect for the 1992 talk, is the key to maintain peaceful status quo across the Taiwan Strait. In her inaugural address on May 20th this year, President Tsai Ing-wen made it clear in 1992, Trade Exchange Foundation in Taiwan and the Association for Relations Across the Taiwan Strait in Beijing, through communication and negotiation, arrived at joint acknowledgements and understandings in the spirit of seeking common ground while setting aside differences, and that Taiwan respect this historic fact. This emphasized that the Tsai Ing-wen government will continue, based upon the existing political foundation, to promote the peaceful and stable development of cross-strait relations. The new government in Taiwan will conduct cross-strait affairs in accordance with the ROC Constitution, the Act governing relations between the people of Taiwan and the people of mainland China, and other relevant legislation. In this regard, the existing political foundation have four key elements. First, under the 1992 talk between the two institutions representing each side across the Taiwan Strait, Taipei and Beijing do reach joint acknowledgement of setting aside differences to seek common ground. And second, the existing ROC constitutional order. And third, the outcome of the over past 20 years of negotiation, almost 30 Cross-Strait agreement was reached in the past more than 20 years, and interaction across the Taiwan Strait. And fourth, the democratic principle and the will of the people of Taiwan. Cross-Strait relations are a long-term process of dynamic evolution. Both Taipei and Beijing need to show patience and wisdom and work jointly to maintain the status quo of peaceful and stable development across the Taiwan Strait. In her May 20th address, President Tsai tried to narrow down the differences between the two sides of the Taiwan Strait, avoiding provocation and surprises to set up consistent, predictable, and sustainable cross-strait relations. This firm pledge demonstrates an attitude and determination to conduct cross-strait affairs, as well as to preserve the core values of the people of Taiwan in implementing the government cross-strait policy. Observation number 2, opening the door for communication and consultation is the practical approach to handling cross-strait relations. Over the past 4 months since May 20th, the two sides of Taiwan Strait have sought to understand and acknowledge each other in spite of diverging views on the development of cross-strait relations. And they all exercise constraint either in Taipei or Beijing. Maintaining the status quo of cross-strait peace and stability is consistent with the development interest of both sides, as well as with the hope of the international community. The Tsai Ing-wen government believes that dialogue and communication are the keys to maintaining peaceful and stable cross-strait relations and to setting up mutual trust between the two sides. Mainland China insists that the 1992 consensus, that is, both sides of the Taiwan Strait are part of the one China, is the political foundation for cross-strait interaction. It has temporarily, since May 20th, suspended negotiation with Mainland Affairs Council and Trade Exchange Foundation in Taiwan, and this has presented challenges for cross-strait official communication and institutionalized negotiation, making it harder to reduce suspension and its risk. The government in Taiwan has handled major recent incidents, such as the missile misfire on July 1st, extradition of the Taiwanese telecommunication fraud suspect to Mainland China, a tour bus travel accident on July 19th, and other major recent events in a timely manner based upon the well-being of the people and security consideration. We have used existing channels to keep Beijing informed and updated in order to reduce tension over these incidents. The Tsai Ing-wen government just completed personnel arrangement on this past Monday for the Trade Exchange Chairman, Dr. Tianhong Mao, making positive steps to stabilize cross-strait relations. We believe that mutual concern and pragmatic handling by the two sides during the natural disaster and emergency in July highlight the importance of maintaining existing cross-strait communication mechanism. It also demonstrates the goodwill and original intention of people-to-people exchanges between the two sides of Taiwan Strait, as well as contribute to the building of mutual trust and benign development of cross-strait relations. Our observation number 3, mutual understanding and dispute management is the key to transforming cross-strait relations. The two sides of the Taiwan Strait have been divided for nearly 70 years. During this time, Taiwan has developed as a democracy with a civil society and diverse public opinion, while mainland China has significantly deepened governance reform and systematically transformed. President Tsai admired Chairman Xi Jinping's courage in tackling corruption in the development of the Chinese society. Different perspectives and even contradiction exist between the two sides of the Taiwan Strait. And it is these differences that create a need and also a necessity for mutual understanding, pragmatic communication, and dispute management. We need to set aside our differences and seek common ground. Any negative reading by one side or the other side's position and policy could better be avoided. Otherwise, it will only create more misunderstanding and concern and prevent the build-up of the mutual trust and opportunity for cooperation between the two sides. We hope both sides can set aside the baggage of history and mutually show goodwill. However, the key is that goodwill and dialogue must be rooted in mutual respect for different political systems and approaches to social function. Taipei and Beijing face a break-in or running-in period since May 20th. We do not expect our differences can be eliminated overnight, but we do hope that we can manage these differences and adjust cross-strait relations to reduce suspension and maximize the spread of cross-strait cooperation and make this the new norm in the development of cross-strait relations. And observation number 4, joint cooperation and prosperity is the new paradigm for the development of cross-strait relations. Cross-strait relations form a key factor in building an Asia-Pacific security network. Taiwan will work hard to maintain peaceful and stable cross-strait relations, seek to participate in international organizations and their related activities, contribute to the international community to bring regional peace and prosperity. We are facing up mainland China, rising political and economic strength and international influence. We hope that Beijing authority will care more about the rights of the Taiwan participation in the international community. The Tsai Ing-wen government will continue to communicate with all parties and seek broad-based support, including from mainland China, to highlight Taiwan pocket of excellence, such as in the area of innovation technology and also the management or the knowledge-based economy, and enable Taipei and Beijing to play to their strengths and jointly contribute to the international community. We face a period of slowing global economic development and the key moment for Taiwan as we seek breakthrough in our economic development. With new thinking, we will adjust and continue to support and promote cross-strait economic and trade exchanges and cooperation. We will participate in multilateral and bilateral economic cooperation and negotiation. The Thai government has announced the guidelines for the new southbound policy, seeking a human resource, capital, and innovation role for Taiwan to play in the regional economy and funding new external support for Taiwan economy. This new southbound policy is not politically driven, rather it is complementary to the development of cross-strait economic and trade relations. We are willing to jointly participate with mainland China on issues related to regional development, exchange views, and explore all possibilities for cooperation and collaboration. And observation number 5, defending the values of democracy and peace is the significant for the solid U.S.-Taiwan relations. Taiwan-U.S. relations are at their best in over past 60 years. U.S. President Barack Obama has encouraged the two sides toward a position of creating link, reducing tension, promoting stability, and advancing development on the basis of dignity and respect. This has become the foundation for setting up cross-strait peace and stability. The U.S. Congress recently, in May and this year, passed a resolution to take concrete action affirming the importance of Taiwan Relation Act and seek assurances to Taiwan-U.S. relations. The friendly ties between Taiwan and the United States are built not only on long-term mutual trust and mutual benefit, but also, more importantly, on shared democratic values and beliefs. On Taiwan Strait-related issues, the U.S. has encouraged Beijing to continue dialogue with Taiwan. This is an important force supporting Taiwan. Since President Tsai Ing-wen took office, the U.S. government has reiterated that cross-strait peace and stability is consistent with American fundamental interests. We hope that the U.S. will continue to support Taiwan cross-strait policies, convey to mainland China the importance of cross-strait peace and stability, and urge Beijing to show greater flexibility and creativity and support the normal operation of cross-strait negotiation and official communication and liaison mechanism. And then my concluding remark. What we hope for cross-strait relations. Facing new cross-strait situation, Taiwan will continue to leave the door wide open for cross-strait communication and dialogue, and work to create a friendly atmosphere and overcome deadlocks. The Mainland Affairs Council would like to propose the following appeal and action. And number 1, each side of the Taiwan Strait should make an effort to show goodwill and gradually establish mutual trust. Each side should apply its wisdom to solve problems and show goodwill that could be echoed by the other side and then accumulate and build mutual trust. And number 2, the two sides should communicate regardless of the humanity, the track 1 or track 2, to build mutual awareness and understanding. Through communication, the two sides can elaborate on their intentions and desire to cooperate without provocation and to forge a consensus on which both sides of the Taiwan Strait can identify and provide positive momentum for cooperation. And number 3, the two sides should put the well-being and the interests of the people first. The well-being of the people on both sides is central in the development of cross-strait relations. We hope that normal contact between the two sides can align cross-strait development in the direction and path consistent with the public expectation. The people-first spirit can also provide momentum for further development between Taipei and Beijing. And number 4, the Tsai Ing-wen government is committed to promoting legislation of cross-strait agreement oversight bill and maintaining benign cross-strait interaction. We will make our effort to complete an effective and feasible oversight bill that can best meet needs of the society so that cross-strait exchanges and development will be continued on the sound and solid legal basis. And number 5, the two sides should expand economic and trade exchanges and cooperation to bring mutual benefit. Institutional economic and trade exchanges and interaction across the Taiwan Strait can enable healthy industrial competition and mutualism. We welcome the further development of mainland China economic investment in Taiwan to bring more mutual benefit. Looking ahead, we hope that the cross-strait differences should not be obstacle hindering the development of cross-strait relations, but rather could be positive factor in promoting dialogue and cooperation. This is the only way to prevent the two sides from slipping into the vicious cycles of suspicion, doubt, interruption, and stagnation. At the same time, the ROC government of Taiwan thanks the U.S. for its long-standing support for Taiwan in both official and private sector. The deepening of Taiwan-U.S. relations and the U.S. affirmation of Taiwan cross-strait policy are conducive to consolidating the pattern of peaceful and stable development across the Taiwan Strait, and also can strengthen the U.S. strategic presence in East Asia. In closing, I wish the symposium every success, and in particular, I want to thank the Mainland Affairs Council. Would like to thank, in particular, Dr. Richard Bush for his leadership to make this symposium possible on the day of the Mid-Autumn Festival in Taiwan, and also on the day of the typhoon hitting the island of Taiwan. I thank you.
Thank you, Minister Lin, for that outstanding presentation. I think that in spirit it was positive and forward-looking. In terms of its intellectual basis, it was sophisticated. And in terms of its recommendations, it was concrete. And so we thank you very much. We're sorry to take you away from home on the Mid-Autumn Festival. And I hope nothing bad happens with the typhoon that requires your presence there. So we have time for just a few questions. I will identify the questioner and then ask that you wait for the mic, identify yourself. Keep your question brief. Obviously, Minister Lin is a very smart man. You don't have to give a whole paragraph when a sentence will do. And so who would like to ask the first question? Okay, gentleman right there. John Zhang. I'm not surprised.
John Zhang with CTI TV of Taiwan Zhongtian. Mr. Minister, the difference between 92 consensus and 92 talks has been narrowing to some extent. What do you foresee any possibility of further narrowing in that respect? Thank you.
In English, 1992 are the same. 92共识 92会谈 92 means 92. But since May 20th, not only two words are identical, but also the common understanding, the joint acknowledgement, 共同认知. So maybe in the future, with the wisdom of leaders from Beijing and Taipei, they could work out on the beauty of the Chinese letters.
Thank you very much. Next question. Okay, Dong Huiyu.
Thank you. Dong Huiyu with China Review News Agency, Zhongping She. We all know that the channel, communication channel between your department and Tao has been suspended. I'm wondering if you have any second check or any other civilian channel to communicate with the other sides on the cross-strait relations. Thank you.
We have diverse, you just mentioned Mainland Affairs Council and Taiwan Affairs Office. Even without the mutual two-side communication, we still keep Taiwan Affairs Office informed in any major policies development taken in the government. So it's one way, but we are looking forward to bilateral communication. It takes two to tango. We want to improve the cross-strait relations. And before going into the track 2 activities, we do have 23 cross-strait agreements. And there are focal points in those 23 cross-strait agreements. So in addition to Mainland Affairs Council and Track Exchange Foundation, we still have the government agencies, such as the Ministry of Transportation, the Ministry of Economic Affairs. They are responsible for handling and management in any communication with the Chinese counterpart. Beijing only suspended communication and negotiation with Mainland Affairs Council and Track Exchange Foundation, but as I just mentioned, the official communication in other different government agencies still continue.
Minister Lin, if I could ask to follow up with what I think is an implication of your remark, and that is that the working level communication regarding the implementation of the 23 agreements continues as before and is basically smooth. Is that correct?
To a certain extent, as I just mentioned, we send information, we send documents from our Ministry of Transportation, and we are proposing to have the bilateral, for example, Economic Cooperation Forum. It's the vice minister levels, but some delay in the process. But in the working level, communication still continue. But as I just mentioned, it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
When you are conducting an exercise related to maritime issue, it takes two to sit down and negotiate and arrange the schedule.
Another question. Gentleman at the back, right on the row, right there.
Thank you. Russell Shao with GTI, the Global Taiwan Institute. My question is, Mr. Lin, thank you very much for your talk. My question is, in President Tsai's inaugural address, she mentioned the act governing relations between the Taiwan area and mainland area. And I was wondering if you could shed some light on the significance of this pillar within the framework and governing relations between the two sides and your personal observation on that matter.
It's hard to hear.
In inaugural address, the ROC Constitution, in our Constitution, altogether 175 articles. But in the amendment, the number 1, regarding how to meet the future national unification, and the act governing relations between the people of Taiwan and mainland China. And also, in the very beginning, mentioning to meet the legal requirement in handling people-to-people exchanges before the national unification. So the wording has been there for a very long time period. And that might be the reason why Beijing, in one hand, they were satisfied with President Tsai inaugural remark. But on the other hand, they believe it is necessary but not sufficient. They still continue to push the amidst when the government in Taiwan to accept 1992 consensus. This is the second DPP government. In the past, previous DPP government and the Tsai Ing-wen government did not accept the 1992 consensus. And the current government, we have different interpretation on 1992 consensus. Regarding the meaning, regarding the historic context, it's very sensitive issue, and it takes wisdom of leader and working level of Taipei and Beijing to sit down to have the dialogue before that sensitive, touchy issue could be settled in the longer run.
Thank you. We have a very tight schedule today. I'm sure that we could keep asking you questions all morning, but you probably have other work to do. Let me again thank you very much for your very thorough and thoughtful presentation and for getting us off to a very good start. Thank you.